To demonstrate how to shoot long exposure light trail shots, we'll be shooting this part of the highway that you can see below, and I will be stationed right in the middle of that bridge at the top so that I get a good vantage point. So let's do this.
Okay, so welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to take a long exposure light trail shot. We've been seeing these shots in the shutter speed section, but now it's time to see how to actually take this. So I'm on top of this bridge, and normally these vantage points serve the best for these kind of shots where you're standing on top of the bridge and you can see the cars going down below you, right? So that's exactly what we've got here. So once I've set up my composition and I'm pretty happy with it, you can see that I've got this nice turn at the end where the cars are just turning, so it just gives that infinity, the car going into infinity look, which is kind of recommended for these shots. So let's get our settings right for this shot now. So of course the most important thing that you need to do in this shot is to make sure that you get the correct shutter speed, right? But before that, what we're going to do is we're going to set our f-stop number here. So I'm just going to increase my f-stop number. That's because I want a large depth of field. That's because I want everything right from front to back here. Everything should come out to be sharp in the shot. So that's very important to us. Now that I've said this, my ISO is on 100. That's exactly where I want my ISO, because I won't have to save any light in this shot from anywhere. Why? Because we are going for a long exposure. So anyway, we'll be using a very slow shutter speed to save all the lights. So let's go on to the important part, which is our shutter speed. So I'm just going to take this down because we want a nice long light trail of these cars which are going past us. So just keep an eye on the meter. So you can see at 15 seconds the meter is just about in the center, and feel free to slightly overexpose it also. That's okay, because one of the most important things in this shot is that your shutter speed cannot be too less. I mean, it cannot be like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Why? Because then you're not going to get the light trails in their entirety. You're going to get broken down light trails because you won't give enough time for the cars to move so that they generate the the longer light trails which look good. So 15 seconds here should work for us. Now these kind of shots can involve a bit of trial and error, so I'm just hoping this should work. So I'm just locking focus right on the road. So let me just get my focus right on the road. Of course, we're using a higher f-stop number, so everything is going to be in focus anyway, but I'm just going to focus right on this road here, and I've got my remote with me. So again, if you remember, we should not touch the shots in which our shutter speed is very slow. So I'm just going to activate the remote mode, and now I'm all set. I'm just going to focus again just to make sure everything is good. Now we're all set to take the shot, so I'm just going to fire away now, and hopefully we should get a decent shot. So that's our shot. It's going to take around 15 seconds. That's our shutter speed. So let's see how this comes. And we might have to change our shutter speed depending on what we get. So I'm going to be focusing on what is the length of the trails that I'm getting. And you can see we've got a pretty decent shot here, right? So, this is a nice blue hour shot. Also, if you look at the sky, we've got a nice blue hue to the sky, which is very important, as we've learned before in the landscape section. So, but the most important thing is that I have to zoom in and see that my light trails come out to be fine. Now, this looks pretty good. We don't have any broken trails here, and I think this looks pretty good. We've got separate trails, nothing is overexposed here. Sometimes what can happen is that if you zoom into this part where the cars are turning, sometimes this can come out to be a bit overexposed. That's because all the cars are coming together there. I think this looks fine here. But what I'm going to do is I'm still going to tell you what you should do in case if you happen to find broken trails because of, let's say, 15 seconds were not enough. So what you can do in that case is you can first of all increase your f-stop number, right? So that's going to cut down the light that is coming in the camera, and of course it's going to give you a long depth of field also. But to be frank, f16, f22 doesn't really matter. Everything's going to be sharp in your shot anyway, in focus. But the reason we're doing this is, suppose at 15 seconds my trails were broken and I was not happy with the trails. going from f16 to f22 cuts down the light that is coming inside the camera. So the meter goes towards the negative side, and now that allows me to increase or decrease rather to make my shutter speed even slower. So let's say I can use a full 30 seconds, which if I was getting a broken trail would probably solve. So let's take this shot again at 30 seconds, and what we might find is that we might just find more fuller trails. Though I was not having that problem anyway, but it can just work out slightly better. So let's see. So you can see that this time we've got much fuller trails, right? That's because we've given more amount of cars have come in these 30 seconds. You know, the trails look much more full. You know, they just look more fuller than the last shot. That's because, of course, we've almost, you know, decreased our shutter speed by twice the amount. So we went from 15 seconds to 30 seconds. And in 30 seconds, what has happened is it has allowed more amount of cars to come inside the shot. So of course, the trails are more, and therefore you're getting this more fuller look. So depending on which one do you want, you know, you can, some people might prefer this look, some people might prefer this look. Important thing is that you should know how to get both. So shutter speed plays an important part in this, and if you want slightly more fuller trails, you'll have to go towards even a slower shutter speed like 30 seconds.
So just to show you again, this was the first shot that we took at 15 seconds, and then this was at 30 seconds. So I'll tell you a shortcut. If you don't want to experiment so much when you're actually taking this shot outdoors, what you can do is, remember what the settings that we used for this shot were: f22, 30 seconds, and ISO 100, right? And what I found most of the times, almost always, is that this particular setting almost works for any scenario of light trails, and most of my light trail shots are shot at these settings. I invariably come down to these three settings, so you can, you know, just mug them up and just apply them straight away, and I can almost guarantee you that it'll work, because I'll just be showing you like 6 to 7 shots of light trails, and all of them have employed the same settings: f22, ISO 100, and 30 seconds. So for example, this is at the same 3 settings, this one too. Just see that again. So I just feel that 30 seconds, you know, gives enough time for the vehicles to move and create a much fuller effect. And, you know, again, this is at the same setting. This is also at the same setting. All these shots. So if you really don't want to experiment too much, just dial in these settings and fire away. And I can assure you that you will end up getting a good shot. So I hope you like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
I hope that you like this video. This video is from my DSLR Photography for Beginners course, which is available via Udemy. And as you can see in front of you on Udemy, it has a rating of 4.8. It has 45 videos and almost 6 hours of video content. And doesn't matter whether you have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, this course will help you master your camera and photography. So in case you like this video, you want to check out the whole course, do give it a go. The link will be given in the description. I hope to see you inside the course.